Howdy folks, and welcome to what is not an episode of Mingles with Jingles, and the reason for that is because I spent most of, well, yesterday, when you see this video today as I'm recording it, not actually receiving any medical attention in the emergency ward of my local hospital. Well, I say my local hospital, that's part of the story. There's nothing local about it. It's a good 14 miles away because the government closed down my local hospital, Royal Naval Hospital Haslar here in Gosport, that have been treating people since the Napoleonic Wars in an effort to apparently make medical treatment in our area more efficient. If by more efficient they mean having to travel 14 miles to get to the nearest accident department, well, then I probably live in one of the most medically efficient boroughs in the country. But anyway, there is actually an emergency department significantly closer than that, but they decided that it didn't need any doctors in it. And so, since it's only staffed by nurses, they can only treat very minor illnesses. What happened was last night, just before going to bed, I started to feel a bit dizzy. Didn't think anything of it, went to bed, and because while I was in bed I was lying down not moving and I had my eyes closed, it wasn't too bad, so I went to sleep. When I woke up on Sunday morning, as soon as I got out of bed, oh boy, I have never felt so dizzy and nauseous in my life. I could barely stand. I wasn't actually throwing up because there was nothing in my stomach, but I was just kind of dry heaving into a bucket over and over, broke out into a very nasty cold sweat. Luckily, my good friend Eddie rose to the occasion, came around, didn't actually pick me up, but guided me to the car and drove me to the nearest emergency ward, which, as I mentioned, didn't actually have any doctors in it, wasn't qualified to diagnose or treat what was wrong with me. However, one of the nurses, even though she said, look, I can't officially diagnose this because I'm not a doctor, but this is a virus. It's a virus in your inner ear. I've seen this before. You're showing the exact same symptoms, but you have to go to an actual emergency ward. And the nearest one was in the QA hospital, a good 14 miles away. And the thing about where I live, it's a peninsula. There's only one road in and out. So anybody who suffers any kind of incident where they require treatment at an emergency ward has to travel the same road as everybody else trying to get in and out of the place where we live. And that can be fun during rush hour. Luckily this was a Sunday, so it wasn't so bad. Well, Eddie eventually got me to a place where they were capable of giving me medical treatment, and they didn't. I sat there for 3 hours just dry heaving into a bucket and sweating all over everything, before eventually I started to get better and decided, screw this, I'll just make an appointment with my doctor, since it was no longer an emergency. I was still dizzy, still a little nauseous, but I was fit to go home. So we did. I just discharged myself, even though I hadn't actually been treated for anything. As it is now, I'm sitting at home, still feeling quite dizzy, but a lot better than I was in first thing in the morning. But there is absolutely no way I'm up to sitting down and recording an entire video. So hopefully, I'm unlikely to die anytime soon. and within a couple of days, I'll be back up to producing my normal video content. I just ask that you bear with me until then, because I really don't feel very well. Anyway, that's it for today. Sorry that there's no proper video today. Almost certainly not going to be a proper video tomorrow either, depending on how things work out today. But I hope you all had a great weekend anyway. And as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.